Nitish Kumar had always known that his father, Rajesh, would do anything for him. But it wasn't until that moment, when he saw his father sitting in the corner of their small, dimly lit house, tears streaking down his worn face, that Nitish truly understood the depth of his father's sacrifices. Rajesh had been a successful businessman once. His life had been full of promise, his career thriving. But when Nitish showed an interest in cricket, Rajesh did something that shocked everyone. He quit his job, sold his business, and poured every bit of money into providing Nitish with the best coaching and training. His dream was simple: to see his son play at the highest level of cricket. He wanted to give him every opportunity that he never had. But the sacrifices were heavy. Over the years, their family went through many hardships. Rajesh's business collapsed after a failed investment, and the money they had once had slowly drained away. Their house was no longer filled with the comfort of success, but with the harshness of struggle. Rajesh could no longer provide for the family as he once did. He was ridiculed by former friends and business associates who saw him as a man who had thrown it all away for a dream that had never materialized. Through all of this, Nitish had one focus: cricket. But despite his best efforts, despite all the money spent on coaching, he had not yet broken through. The pressure mounted, and as the reality of his father's sacrifices hit him harder than ever, Nitish made a silent promise. The turning point came when Nitish saw his father cry, not from exhaustion, but from despair. Rajesh sat on the floor, staring at the pile of unpaid bills, his eyes red from the burden of guilt. Nitish had always seen his father as a pillar of strength, a man who never showed weakness, but in that moment, Rajesh was broken. It was then that Nitish made a mental note: I will repay him. I will make him proud. Years passed, and Nitish worked relentlessly, channeling his frustration and determination into cricket. He knew he had to do more than just play the game. He had to prove that his father's sacrifices were not in vain. The moment came one cold Boxing Day, during the prestigious Boxing Day Test match. It wasn't just any match for Nitish. This was the moment he had been preparing for his entire life. It was the moment he had promised himself and his father that he would repay the years of sacrifice. The stadium was packed, the crowd roaring with excitement, but Nitish was calm. He walked to the crease, bat in hand, with a single goal in mind: to make a statement. His father was in the stands, watching from the shadows, no longer the man who once had a business empire, but a man who had given everything for his son's future. As the bowler ran in, Nitish's focus sharpened. Each ball, each run, was a memory of every sacrifice Rajesh had made. He played with the quiet intensity of a son who knew that the dreams his father had given up were not in vain. The match progressed, and Nitish's batting was impeccable. With each run, his confidence grew, the cheers of the crowd pushing him forward. He was playing the best cricket of his life, but it wasn't until he reached his maiden century that he truly felt the weight of the moment. When he reached 100 runs, the crowd erupted in applause. But for Nitish, it was more than just a milestone. It was the culmination of everything his father had given up: his career, his dreams, his comfort, so that his son could stand here in the spotlight. As Nitish raised his bat to acknowledge the crowd, his eyes found his father in the stands. Rajesh was standing, tears in his eyes, clapping. Nitish could see the pride on his father's face, the pride that had been buried under years of hardship and ridicule. In that moment, Nitish knew that this century was not just for him. It was for his father. Later, after the match, Nitish walked up to Rajesh. He didn't need to say anything. The silence between them spoke volumes. Rajesh embraced him tightly, whispering, "I always knew you would make me proud." And in that embrace, Nitish finally understood. The century wasn't just a personal achievement. It was the fulfillment of a promise he had made long ago. He had repaid his father's sacrifices in the only way that mattered: by giving him something unforgettable, something that would always remind him that his sacrifices had not gone unnoticed. The maiden century in the Boxing Day Test was a moment neither of them would ever forget. A testament to a father's love, a son's determination, and a dream fulfilled.